welcome back to my channel. My name is Adese Ipeku and I do ASMR and other related content, if you didn't already know, that is. So don't forget to like, subscribe and share, turn on post notifications so you get a notification every time I post, because why not? This is top tier content. So yeah, so today we're going to make pizza. That's what we're going to do.
Okay, now getting straight into the video. To make your own pizza at home, we're going to start off with making the pizza dough.
For that, you're going to need a bowl. You're going to also need a couple measuring spoons. You will need flour, yeast, salt, sugar, water, and oil. Okay, so I'm not necessarily including measurements because it isn't my recipe, and I'm using about 3 or 4 different recipes I found here on YouTube to actually try and figure out what I like and don't like and how to tweak it to fit what I need and want for my own pizza. So I would probably include the link to the people's videos I took reference from in the description box below. Okay, now getting right into the tutorial. So first thing you want to do is wash your hands, and then what you're going to do next is a cup of warm water, and you're going to add sugar into your water, dissolve it, and add your yeast to activate your yeast, because that's how yeast works. So that's how it's supposed to do it. Like I said, this is not technically a tutorial in terms of measurements and quantities and things like that, but the technical part of it is here because I don't know how to do this without explaining. Okay, so here's my cup, and then we're going to add the sugar and stir that together. To that, we are going to add yeast. You can literally smell the yeast when it's activating. So you're just going to leave this aside for 15 minutes. Okay, so you know when your yeast is activated when it looks like this. It has to look thick and frothy. That's how you know your yeast is activated. If it doesn't look like this, I would honestly suggest chug it out and start again, because your dough won't rise as well as it's supposed to. Now the next thing you're going to do is add flour into the bowl. Mix your salt with your flour, because salt deactivates yeast, makes it act slower, work slower. That's what I learned in secondary school anyway, in food and nutrition class, but that's what you're going to do. So yeah. And then now we're going to add salt. And stir it all together. Then next we're going to add oil. And then now we're going to add our happy, healthy, active yeast. And mix everything. Okay, so now we're going to use our hands and just mix everything together. So now this is what I said about, me actually trying to come up with what works best for me. Because from this dough already, like the recipe, I'm already noticing that it's a bit drier than usual. So I would tweak it by adding like water a little bit at a time, because I already know how the dough is supposed to be, like the texture of it is supposed to be.
Okay, so now I've transferred the dough to my counter, which I've already cleaned. Please clean your counter, please. You do not want to contaminate your food.
Please clean your counter, please.
So you're still going to keep kneading it for about 10 to 15 minutes till everything is like well combined. Like I'll show you, you know. Okay, I'll show you. So this is what your dough should look like. It should be like soft and pliable and smooth. That's what it should look like when you've kneaded it properly. So now, after this is done, we're going to add this back to the bowl. So you're going to oil your bowl, put some oil on top of it, then put it back in the bowl, cover your bowl with cling film, and leave it in a warm place for about an hour so that it can rise. If you want to leave it overnight, leave it overnight. I don't have that kind of time, so you should probably leave it for an hour to 2 hours if you don't have enough time. Then we'll start making the rest of the pizza.
A few moments later.
Now, after that short break of TikTok dancing, being the only dance I can actually do, we're now going to go on to make our base. You can make your own tomato base, which I'm going to be doing, or you could use barbecue sauce if barbecue pizza is what you want to make. Okay, so for this, you're going to slice your tomatoes.
My heart is a banana.
Okay, so now we've blended our tomatoes and it's here in the bowl. Now, next thing we're going to do is take a pot and start mixing everything else, or making it, basically drying out, dehydrating tomatoes, as well as frying your ginger, your garlic if you like, and your spices together. If you're Nigerian, it's kind of like making stew, but less spicy and more on the sweet side. So I put my ginger and garlic here, and now I'm just going to add like my chopped onions into it and oil to fry it. I'm gonna turn up the heat. Okay, so you're just going to keep frying everything and just keep stirring it. And then right about here is where I would add my thyme. You can make it anyhow you normally make stew, but because like it doesn't matter. But anyway, okay. So after frying it for a few minutes, now we're going to add our tomato into it. And just leave it to like dry out and dehydrate.
So helpful tip, if you want to cut down the sour taste of your tomatoes without having to fry it for such a long period of time, just add sugar. You just have to be mindful of how much sugar you add, if not it becomes really sweet. But then in this case, I like when my tomato sauce is sweet.
So at this point, most of the liquid in my tomato paste has already like dried up. So that's now I'm going to add the sugar in it and stir it together. And we're now going to add like spices. That's your seasoning, salt, Maggi, curry if you like it. But I would say don't add a lot of curry so it doesn't start tasting like straight up stew. And pepper or yaji. I like yaji. Yaji is a good option. And then stir it together. And then I'll show you the consistency of the tomato paste so you know how it's supposed to be. I forgot to mention, it's important that you add your spices to your tomato base and also season it properly, because that's where most of the flavor is coming from for your pizza. If you don't season it well, your pizza will pretty much taste dead and dry. So that's one thing. Another thing, when you add your spices into your mixture, make sure your heat is on low to medium heat so that everything cooks and disperses properly and your base actually tastes good. Okay, so this is how the consistency is supposed to look. So not too runny and not too thick. It's just like perfect right there in the middle. And it's ready. Now, because we're going to be making a chicken barbecue sauce tomato based pizza, I've already chopped up my chicken, so you're going to have to chop up your chicken, defrost and chop up your chicken. And we're going to stir fry the chicken in a pan with a little bit of salt, oil, and let it cook. And then we're going to turn it into the sauce and mix everything together. And that basically means your sauce is ready. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so into our pan we have the oil heating up. And then once it's hot, not so hot, just a little bit hot, we're going to add chicken. And then we're going to season it with a little bit of salt. And stir fry it till it is ready and cooked through, and then turn it into the sauce.
So I added a tiny bit of water to the chicken and the oil in the pan so that it could cook properly and cook through. Wow. Okay, so I noticed that after adding my chicken into it, obviously because you added something else into it, the consistency is going to be thicker. So you can add a little bit of water to loosen it up a bit and then continue because it's fine. So that's what I'm going to do.
So this is how the consistency is supposed to be. It's how it's supposed to look, like this. You can make it a bit runnier if you want, but this is actually perfect, if you ask me. Okay, so our dough is ready. And I don't have a round pizza pan, so I'm going to be using this baking tray. So we're going to add flour to the baking tray. And now you're going to place your dough into it. And you're just going to kind of work the dough so that it starts to spread. Now another tip is to try and make the middle of your dough thinner than the rest. because the outside is going to cook faster than the middle part. So that's what you're going to do. Once you've spread everything out in your baking tray, you're going to take a fork and poke holes in it. And then cover it with cling film and leave it to proof for 20 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to start adding our toppings and sauces to the pizza base because now it's ready. So this is what it looks like.
Yeah. So you're going to want to distribute it as best as you can.
Oh, look at that. Just look at that beauty. Look at it. It looks so delicious already. Okay.
By the way, you can actually use whatever cheese you want. A lot of people prefer mozzarella, which I do, but for this I'm just going to be using toast because I had that in my fridge, so might as well. So now I'm going to add salami and then add peppers, and now add your cheese. So it's going to look something like this when you're done. And now it's ready to get into the oven.
Okay, so to preheat your oven, you're going to preheat it to about 245 to 250 degrees. I would say 245 because it's safer. And do that for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on how your oven actually heats up and how fast it does that. And then you're going to put it into the oven and bake it for 10 to 15 minutes or until the sides are brown. Okay, so now we have waited and it's finally ready. So let me get it out of the oven and show you how that came out.
This is how it looks. This is how it came out. It is so thick and juicy and looks really good. I'm so proud of myself and I'm so happy this came out well. I know it will taste even better. I should actually try it.
Look at that. Just look at that. Oh, it looks so good. So good. Tastes so good. Yeah. And now this is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching up until now. Make sure you like, subscribe and share. Tell your friends, tell your family. Subscribe for more wholesome content. I'm pretty tired, to be honest, because it took a long while, but it was totally worth it. So make sure you try it out, and the link to all the videos I use for reference are in the description box below. Bye.